In this week's video, we're going to talk about overwintering your pepper plants. You know, like this jalapeno pepper, the peppers in our garden are going to die off with the cold stretch that's coming up. But you can protect your pepper plants because the good news is that pepper plants of all varieties are perennial. Now, you might be asking yourself, why in the world would I want to try to overwinter pepper plants? It seems unnecessary. It seems like extra hard work. Well, one thing about peppers in a lot of northern tier climates in our country, it takes a long time for them to mature. And of course, if you plant in, let's say you're in Michigan and you're planting in late May or early June, you may not get peppers until late August or September because it does take a long time for pepper plants to mature. One nice thing about peppers that some people don't realize is that they are actually not best in the hottest part of the summer. They do a lot better in the later part of the year. And some of your best peppers, like these jalapenos here, they are great in September and October and are still going really hard right before the frost. If you were able, let's say, to get this same plant to be able to grow next year and not start from the very beginning, wouldn't that be something you'd want to try? Look at the stem of this mature pepper plant. It would be a shame if I were to dig this up and throw it in the compost pile when the fruiting is done for the season, just because the frost comes. If I could somehow save this very thick stem and I could put it in a pot and I could overwinter kind of in a sort of suspended animation and then grow it again from that point next spring, wouldn't that make sense? Because I would have weeks and weeks of head start. So I've made it my goal this season to overwinter my pepper plants in order to do better than I do when I use starts or when I start seeds indoor in the early spring. Love to get that head start. And there are really only a couple of steps. First, you want to prep the plant by pruning it way back. Then you want to dig the plant out, and then you want to pot it and prepare it for hibernation for the season. The first step in preparing your plant will be to pull off any of the late peppers that we have. The good peppers that in a few days, because of our cold stretch, these are going to die on the plant as the plant dies off as well. And we don't want to waste any of this fruit. They're beautiful. And like I said, late in the season, peppers seem to do some of their best work. And we've got all of this coming off. I'm going to take all of these jalapenos off of this plant first. And then we'll get into the process of really pruning it down really heavily. But we want to make sure we get all of this good stuff first. All right, there are our peppers. And now that we have those off, we're going to do the next step, which is the pruning. This next step is not for the faint of heart. It is really tough for the tender-hearted folks that don't want to prune back anything really significantly. But I have to tell you that when you overwinter peppers, you have to definitely prune it within an inch of its life, literally. The key to the pruning process is to start at the base, at the soil, where the stem is the thickest. And you'll want to, at that point, look at where the nodes are. Now, nodes are the little knuckles in the stem, and you can see them here where typically two stems will branch out. So the first knuckle or node is right here. That's the main one. And the goal is to count up 2 nodes and to make your cuts at that point. So here is your first one, 1, 2, you would cut here. Here's 1, 1, 2, you would cut here, and etc. So everything that is above those knuckles are going to go away. They're going to be composted. And the rest of it that's left down below will be what we will overwinter. So let's make our cuts. We have the main node, 1, 2. So on this stem, I'm going to cut right here and right here next to the knuckle, to the node. Pull those pieces out. All right, let's do this stem. Here's your main one. So you've got 1, 2. This one up here is a little bit higher. Cut all of that off. 1, and then the third one up here, like that. Okay, these 2 are thicker, so you got the main one, 1, 2. So this one gets cut right here. That's a bulk of the plant right there. Getting pretty thin looking. And then on this last one here, we've got the main knuckle, then 1, and here are your cutting nodes right there. So what we have is a pretty sad and pathetic looking plant. Now, you might be horrified at what I just did to this, but it actually is good for it because the goal for this is not to grow your peppers or leaves or anything like that in the winter. You want this thing to hibernate and only for the roots to be alive and active and present. It's okay for those things, but not for any growth up above the soil. The next step is to dig out the root ball of your pepper plant. And remember, because the root ball is the part that's still alive and it's going to carry that pepper plant through the winter months, you want to be really careful to get the whole thing and not to tear it. So in that case, what you want to do is dig with a shovel or a spade at a distance around the plant, maybe even a foot around the plant in order to make sure you get that entire root ball because we're going to transplant that root ball into another pot. Once you've dug your pepper plant out, you'll want to make sure not to shake the root ball. This is really actually perfect the way it is. If I shook dirt out of that and I made it more of a bare root, it would traumatize that root. So what you want to do is to get that all set up and find the appropriate size pot. Now I took a couple of options. I wasn't sure how big the root ball would be. I think this larger one will fit it better. You want something that doesn't crowd the root ball, but you don't also want something that's huge like a 5-gallon container that you would have to fill entirely with dirt in order to fill it up and put that pepper to bed. So something between, which I think this is perfect. That is going to work pretty well. And we'll go ahead and add a little bit of the dirt and then add a little bit of topsoil or a planting medium, just like that on the bottom. Then stick your pepper in. Let's talk about the planting medium really quickly. It's really basically potting soil. I use like an indoor-outdoor type variety for mine because I'm not going to bring my pepper plants and winter them inside. I'm going to put mine in my barn and I won't need anything to be sterilized. However, if you're going to put your pepper plants somewhere in your house, in your basement, even in your garage, you may want to consider an indoor potting soil. And the reason for that is because the indoor potting soils, they are sterilized so that there are no fungus gnat eggs in them. And Heidi will tell you that we've had fungus gnats in the house before when I thought it was really smart to use outdoor soil for planting some houseplants. And we had a mess for quite a while. I would highly recommend to use the indoor potting soil for anything that you bring inside. Now, when you use your potting soil, you'll want to make sure that you fill up to the level that the plant was when it was in the ground. So something like that is fine. If you have a deeper pot and the plant is fitting in that pot, that's fine. Just don't fill very high. Just fill up to the line where it was originally in the soil. In your pot, you want to make sure that the soil stays moist. We're going to give it a really good, pretty heavy watering at the start. Make sure that the pot you use also has holes on the bottom so that water can seep out. Another thing to think about is not to overwater because peppers don't like to stand in water. And through the season, it's not going to grow any leaves, or at least you don't want it to. So minimal water is fine. Now, I will do this though. I'm going to put a little bit of a mixture of fertilizer and Epsom salt in my soil and just kind of work it in here a little bit. I want the roots to stay healthy, and so I'm putting in things like Epsom salt, which has magnesium in it, and then bone meal, which has the phosphorus in it, some potassium, those types of elements that are great for growing roots. You don't want to put a fertilizer or compost on this that has a high nitrogen content, because in that case then you're going to start growing leaves, because nitrogen is the material that the plants use to actually grow their leaves up. We don't want that in the winter. We want this thing to sleep. My peppers are now potted for winter hibernation. You may want to consider labeling the pots, especially if you have multiple varieties, because when the peppers don't have any leaves on them, don't have any fruit on them, you can't sometimes tell which variety is which. I have two jalapenos, but you might have sweet bananas or something like that, and you need to label them so that you know which are which. I'm putting my peppers in my barn for the winter, and the temperatures in there should be at or around 50 degrees. Now, if we get really, really cold nights, I'll probably throw a tarp over the peppers just to make sure that they stay warm enough. During the daytimes, I want a little bit of diffused light, not direct sunlight. I'm, again, not trying to grow any leaves, but just diffuse sunlight, maybe up underneath one of your shade trees to get a little bit of sunlight during the daytime hours when it's warmer, and then you can pull them back into your garage or your barn after that. Another option for overwintering is to find a place near a wall with brick or stone or something like that that gets radiant heat during the daytime. Those peppers will love that heat, and then that stone will radiate that at night and keep the temperatures around the pot and around the pepper plants warmer at night. You never want your pepper plants to get lower than freezing, 32 degrees Fahrenheit during the night if you can possibly help it, because at that point then there's danger and vulnerability for them to die. If you ever have a question of whether your plants are still alive and viable, you can usually tell by the color of the stems. If you have a lot of green, then you know that you have some life in there and that those roots are doing okay up under there. If you have black or brown starting, you may have some dieback. A little bit of that is okay, but you want to make sure that that doesn't take the whole plant. And remember also, not a lot of moisture, just enough to wet your fingertip and make that moist, but not too much where it's sitting in water all the time. Now, in the springtime, when you're ready to plant the peppers again, you want to make sure of a couple of things. First of all, you want the temperature of the air to be above 50 degrees for a couple of days at nighttime, because you want to make sure that the peppers are in viable soil. Peppers like warmer temperatures, they like warmer soil, and they won't germinate and they won't grow and they won't thrive if the temperatures aren't right. Now, also, when you plant your pepper plants in the spring, you want to make sure to try to look at the forecast and see if you can plant them when there are 3 days coming up that are overcast or cloudy, not full sun. You want to make sure to harden plants off when you plant them. And anytime you overwinter a plant or you bring them from inside when you started them inside to outside, you always want to make sure not to give them the extreme most environment, which in the case of a full sun would be too traumatic for them. So look for a couple of days in a row that are going to be cloudy or overcast and plant them then. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, learning a little bit about overwintering peppers. I'm really excited to do this and see my harvest and become more abundant next spring, summer, and fall. I hope, again, that you have a really great garden next year and that your peppers thrive. And as always, from our homestead to yours, blessings.